Welcome back to Carib 21, where we share what's trending in and around the Caribbean. If it's your first time joining us, please feel free to like, share, and hit that subscription button. In today's video, I would like to talk about a recent town hall meeting in the Big Apple, the city of New York, where the Honorable Dr. Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, went and spoke to the Jamaicans living in the diaspora, Jamaicans living in New York, and Jamaicans who made it from other states in New York just to be a part of that town hall meeting. Let's talk about it. What I'd like to do in this video is to show some of the highlights of the question and answer period in this town hall meeting, and also to look at some of the speech, some of the highlight from the speech from Dr. Andrew Holness, and just to break it down. And please feel free to, break it down with me in the comment section. Tell me if you agree with what our Prime Minister addressed in the meeting. If there's things that you disagree with, please leave it in the comment section, and let's just have a conversation in the comment section. And I'd like to say before I start that this was very well organized. So, thumbs up to the people who were on the ground in New York who put this thing together. It was well organized. And to add to that, this town hall meeting is not, it's an ongoing thing that been going on for at least over 30 years. Both political parties, whether it's the JLP or the PMP, they try to reach out to the diaspora in some of the major cities across the world where Jamaicans are represented. So you would find them in New York, you'd find them going to Toronto, and you'd find them going to London or Brixton in the UK to reach out to Jamaicans living in the diaspora. So the first video I'd like to take a look at is a Jamaican living in New York that wanted to ask the Prime Minister about the beaches. The beaches in Jamaica have been a hot topic for decades. So just take a look and I'll comment right after this.
Me is a person who come home very regular, right? This year, me and my kids them the home, right? And we're in which the beach them. Me have a big problem with the beach. If you don't stay in a hotel, it come like so we don't have access to the beach. Me there with my youth them, right? And Dumpot Beach, which is Harmony Beach right now, by 5 o'clock them cut off, right? And if them cut off and you don't have a hotel in a Montego Bay, there's nowhere to go to the beach but the one, I think, I remember the name of the Jimmy Cliff Boulevard, right behind the airport there. So, and me feel like a stranger in my own country. When I ask the people to invest, I buy a little house in Mandeville, and it's like me I do an Airbnb. And the problem I have with JPS and cable flow.
All right, what's the question, sir?
So my question to you is, Minister Vaz, he might take on certain things, but I wonder how and what and where you put in place in order to make these companies do better. Because right now, me I pay for something when me not get. Right now, my cable is still off. All of my things in my house are smart lock, smart this. And it's like, I don't have no access. Me have no eyes for my place.
All right.
You understand?
So the
Someone
question...
know the question, 1 minute, sir.
No,
question
get to the question.
How can I?
No, I appreciate. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
No disrespect, I'm sorry. But,
forgive me if I move very quickly through.
Yes.
Cycle
I
through
understand.
them. So the issue of beaches is a live one. Yes. And what the government, the issue, my friend, is not that there aren't any beaches. The issue is that the beaches have to be developed and secured so that people can access them. And what we have been doing, for example, you mentioned Harmony Park. I don't know how many of you have gone to Harmony Park and seen what we have built there. It's a lovely facility. And we're going to be building all around Jamaica access like that. Now, the closing time might be an issue, so I can appreciate what you're saying. I'll look into that to see if you can extend the closing time. But even if you were to have beaches open for whatever time, there is still the issue of security and sanitation and so forth. So we are making investments in our beaches. And I want you to be assured that those investments are all going to be free for public access. In terms of the utilities and the standard of service that they are given, the utilities are regulated independently by the Office of Utilities Regulations. We have noticed, however, that there is a fall off in standards. And we have been putting pressure on the OUR and the utility company themselves, in particular JPS, to improve their standards. You have mentioned the activities of Minister Vaz, who has been very strident with JPS, and we have gotten some results there. We will pay some attention now to the internet companies and the telecommunication companies to ensure that the services that they are mandated to do, they are actually delivering them.
Okay, so that was the question. So please feel free to comment in the comment section. Let me know of your experience going back to Jamaica and going to the beach, because I know for those of us in the diaspora, I know myself, I've never swum in the USA, in Canada. Like, I'm not going in any water unless it's in the Caribbean. So that's just me. And so whenever I go to Jamaica, the beach is one of the first places that I want to visit. So let me know your experience in the comment section. Do you agree with the gentleman about the shortage of beaches in Jamaica? I know this is an ongoing issue. Like, this has been an issue since I was a child. Going to Ocho Rios and going to Montego Bay, Doctors Cave Beach, and beaches across Jamaica where you have to pay to get into the beach. Do you think it's reasonable for most of the beaches in Jamaica, the ones that are not privately owned, to have a fee where they collect to go into the beach? If you have been to Jamaica in recent time, do you think it's too expensive what they're asking? Sound off in the comment section and let me know what you think. For me, I don't mind paying when I go to Jamaica. If I'm going to like a Doctor's Cave Beach or any of those beach, Dungeroa Falls, I don't mind paying to go to those beaches, but I can understand Jamaicans living in Jamaica that they want somewhere to go hang out and to go lime, as we'd say in the Caribbean, and to go have some fun. And I think we should have certain amount of beaches in Jamaica that is free and that Jamaicans have access to just go and cool out at the beach, because Jamaica is pretty much expensive right now. Anything that you have to take up cash from your pocket to go and pay can be very costly. So if you live in Ocho Rios, if you live in Montego Bay, I believe that you should have access to local beaches. And my experience traveling across the Caribbean, I think Jamaica is the only island that I know that have a problem with shortage of beach. I know going to Bermuda, all the beaches in Bermuda are free. Going to Barbados, the beaches that I've been to in Barbados, free. Cuba, the same thing. Dominican Republic. So let me know in the comment section if you have ever been to any other Caribbean island where there's this issue of shortages of beaches, or you have to pay an enormous fee to get into the beach. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Part 2 of that question was about telecommunication and cable, about those bills in Jamaica and the challenges that people are having with those services in Jamaica. I am not in Jamaica, so I don't know the day-to-day runnings of like cable and telecommunication, but all I can contribute to this is that coming from the 90s or the 80s to today, I think Jamaica has made a lot of improvement in terms of those services. You know, I remember when it was just cable and wireless and there was no option, and you would have to be like a middle class or upper class to get a cell phone. Cell phone bills were like through the roof, like crazy ridiculous. And I think it was the PJ Patterson government that ended that monopoly, and Digicel entered, and you saw other companies that coming into the market. So I think when it comes on to telecommunication, cable, from my experience, from what I know, but not being there every day, is that Jamaica is very competitive when it comes on to like a world-class level. It's very competitive in those areas. So, let me know in the comment section, what do you think about telecommunication, cable in Jamaica? Do you think it's as crazy as like a JPS or Water Commission, or do you think because of competition, cable and like telecommunication in terms of cell phone is a much better service because of the competition? Sound off in the comment section and let me know what you think. So the second question that we're going to be looking into now is about water again. It's not about the beach, but it's about water coming through your pipes and places in Jamaica that still have a problem with running water. So let's take a look and react right after this.
All right, Ms. Brown.
The most honorable Dr. Andrew Michael Holness and your entourage, I greet you in the mighty name of Jesus. Yes. I am Stephanie, originally Richards, from St. Thomas, Dalvey District, underwrite from Mr. Beresford Itaford Steele. You can remember that name, sir? Okay. Mr. Prime Minister, I am asking you to give my Member of Parliament an assignment for me, please. I've migrated a number of years now, but I am a born laborite. My blood is green. I campaign very hard when it's election time and social media. I get cursed out. When I used to work in Princess Margaret, I was one man against the PMP when the election is lost. The water situation is very bad. And I want to know, who must I talk to about my rebate not getting water in Dalvey and in Eastern St. Thomas? The water situation, Mr. Charles then had put a tank there, and I don't know if it's a sabotage with Water Commission, is sabotaging the Jamaica Labour Party or what. So I'm asking you, I need some answer about the water situation in Dalvey. There's no water and they keep sending bills, and we're paying the bills and we're not getting back anything. And if you don't pay the bill, them keep mounting up the bill, and you have to pay it and you're not getting any water. And they are aware that there's no water. So please give Miss Charles the assignment for me, please, when you go back down there to sort out the water problem underneath Mr. McLeod. Watch.
Well, listen.
Thank you.
Even if I did not take notes, what you have said is seared in my mind. So when I go back, I am going to look up the water situation in Dalvey and see how best we can alleviate the circumstances there. I appreciate very much your very strident advocacy for your community. God bless you and thank you.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so yeah, so that lady was funny, but this is not really a laughing matter. Jamaica's been having issue with water for decades. Whenever there are areas without no running water, and then there are some areas with pipe, but the frequency of water is not regular. And 2024 for Jamaica, which is a land of wood and water, to be having these issues, it's crazy to me. But, you know, guys, sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Do you think the Prime Minister answered her question in a way that you're okay with? Do you think that this administration could have done more in terms of the infrastructure with running water in Jamaica? I think it is sad because the reality is that the infrastructure in Jamaica, I think that the most development took place before Jamaica gained independence, like between 1950 to 1961 or so, when the Mona Reservoir and most of the water infrastructure were put in place back then. And since that time, it's mostly like maintenance. And we have seen the population almost pretty much double from before independence to now. We've seen the population double, but we have not seen a lot of new infrastructure. And as I said, in the land of wood and water. And in recent years, like I've heard of like professionals like consulting with the government. And one of the things that they were trying to do is to, in the rural areas, to stop burying people in their homes and stuff like that, because in their yards, because one of the things that experts have mentioned to the Jamaican government is that because people are still buried in their yard, like that is poisoning the water system, and Jamaica have millions of gallons of water beneath the surface that they could find ways to pump those water to get it out. That we don't need new reservoirs or catchment because we have water beneath, but because of, you know, the whole burial process, it is not good water. The water, it contaminates the system. So I don't know what the government is going to do in the future, but something needs to be done, because Jamaica, we can't live in an island surrounded by the sea and, you know, fresh water like river and water running from the rocks, and we have water problems. So sound off in the comment section and let me know what you think about this. So up next is what I think is the question of the day asked by this young lady, and it's about import. And I believe that if the Prime Minister can and his administration can solve this problem, then this could see billions of dollars pouring into the Jamaican economy. So let's take a look at her question and talk about it after.
The lady in front of you.
Good evening, Prime Minister, Holness, should we address everybody? I'm going to make it fast, yes. Consul General Wilson and Minister Johnson Smith. My name is Shari Linton, Esquire, and I am a Jamaican American. My parents were one of the first people to import goods from Jamaica to South Florida in the early 80s. So we understand the importance of importing goods. I own a tea company, and my family currently makes drinks like Roots Drinks and Irish Moss, right? So my question this evening is, with the rapid growth of platforms like Alibaba that makes it easy to import goods from China, how can U.S. businesses connect with Jamaican growers and suppliers to make wholesale and bulk purchases, which can in turn stimulate the Jamaican economy?
All right, thank you for that question.
Well, there's actually some work that's being done in that regard. I know that there have been one or two private sector attempts, but to get the mass use of their platforms hasn't really happened. But I did meet someone earlier who had was it eatjamaicafood.com?
Yes,
Yes.
he's here.
Who is launching a platform to do just that.
Perfect.
eatjamaicafood.com. Please, if you're here, please tell me if I'm getting your name right. eatjamaica.com? All right. Yeah, and he's doing just that. So he's buying in bulk from different suppliers. They're consolidating here and then shipping to you wherever you want across the world. That's his thing, and so it's incredible that you asked that question.
Well, that's great.
If anybody knows him, please introduce him to this lady quick.
Yes, Shari's tea
All right.
will be a big customer. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good evening, everybody.
Okay, so this is the billion-dollar problem that I'm not sure that there's have been any administration that have ever tried to solve this, and this has been a problem for decades. So let me explain. Outside outside Jamaica, there are millions of Jamaicans living outside of Jamaica, major cities across the US, across the UK, and across Canada. And as Jamaicans living outside of Jamaica, the one thing that makes us feel at home is our food, a big part of our culture. And when you live in a place like New York, in Toronto, Jamaicans always go to the Caribbean supermarket and even the major supermarket in some of these places. For example, I live in Toronto, and if you go to some of the major supermarkets in Toronto, you will see Jamaican food all over the shelf. There is a Jamaican section in most Jamaican communities in Toronto. And when you go to those sections now and you try to find Jamaican food, let me just give you an example. So this here, Jamaican, ackee. And if you can look at the label, this says Montego Bay ackee. I am sure you'll not find this in Jamaica because it says product of Jamaica, has the Jamaican flag, but it was not made in Jamaica. That is a problem. When you look and you see butterbean, and you see this one is called Jamaican Pride. Has the Jamaican flag and everything, the Jamaican map, but it was not made in Jamaica. You go here now and you see Lasco. This is a brand that you will see in Lasco. This is one of Jamaica's biggest brand. Lasco and Grace Kennedy, two of Jamaica's biggest brand that you'll find in Toronto, in New York, and in the UK, wherever there's a big Jamaican community. And why is this a problem now? When you go to the supermarket, based on my experience in Toronto, at least 80% of the Jamaican food that we get in the supermarket, and I'm talking about canned stuff now, I'm talking about non-perishable items, at least 80% of the Jamaican items that you find in the supermarket were not made in Jamaica. And you look at the labels and you try to find where, because when you look at a thing like ackee, yes, Jamaica is the only country in the world I know that really eat these stuff. But it's grown in Ghana. It can be grown in different countries in South America. So what you find happening now, there are companies across the world that know about the Jamaican culture, that know how big the Jamaican culture is, and they exploit the Jamaican culture by just providing Jamaican stuff to the major market like Toronto, like New York, like Miami, and they have a big market share of Jamaican products in this country, while about 20% is coming from Jamaica because of companies like Grace Kennedy and Lasco. But if you go to New York, as I said, you to Toronto, there are Jamaican brands out there that you have never seen in your life. Some of them you can hardly pronounce them. They have the big Jamaican flag on it. And these companies are making billions of dollars because Jamaicans like to know that we're in New York, we're in Miami, we're in LA, we want to have our ackee and saltfish, we want to have our oxtail, and that is a problem. And not just with canned food, because as someone who is a chef, and I go to like mostly the Jamaican, the Chinese Jamaican supermarket, sometimes you'll go there and you'll see like mangoes and you'll see the sign Jamaican mango. And the problem with that is that the Jamaican products are always more expensive. Anywhere you go, like in Toronto, in Florida, in New York, anywhere you go, Atlanta, the Jamaican products are always more expensive. They're seen as premium type products because of the taste and all of that in them. You go to these supermarkets and you'll see like a Jamaican mango. You'll see like the one that you'll see the most is like the potato, the sweet potato, the Jamaican sweet potato that you use for sweet potato pudding. And if you don't know, if you're not like a Jamaican that really know your food, you'll go and you see the sign say Jamaica stuff and you go buy it and it's not from Jamaica. It's from places like Honduras, it's from Mexico, and there's a big difference in the taste, and that is one of the things that I find that if the government can fix that problem, where in terms of import, that would be billions of dollars going into the Jamaican economy. So guys, let me know if you have had this experience. If you live in any one of these major cities across the world and you go into a Caribbean supermarket and you find that there's a lot of brands, as I said, like this, Aki, there are butter beans, there's corned beef, anything that we like to eat, and you see that there's no, it's like the big Jamaican flag, product of Jamaica, but was not made in Jamaica. Sound off in the comment section, share your experience and let me know. So I'm going to close off now, but we're going to take a look at one more clip, and this is of the Most Honorable Dr. Andrew Holness addressing Jamaicans in the room about the state of Jamaica. So take a look and let me know what you think about this one.
Now, if you read the news and if you follow social media, you would think that the sky is falling. And I do quite a bit of reading and following myself, so that I'm abreast, I keep abreast of what people are saying and what people think. Because it's important as a leader to have that understanding. Now, we have been doing very well on our development goals. We have done an assessment, and we're not going to hit developed country status by 2030. But hey, hear what? Jamaica is doing the best out of all the Caribbean countries. So
yes, so that was our Prime Minister addressing the Jamaicans in the room about Jamaica not becoming a first world country by 2030. And what I found interesting is that the Prime Minister went on to say that Jamaica is doing better than any other country in the Caribbean. And to me, I'm sitting there and I'm like, how do you measure this? How do you quantify this? Is this just like a political speech? Because I swear Jamaica has the weakest dollar in the Caribbean. It's between Jamaica and Guyana. And when you look, how do you explain this to Jamaicans who leave Jamaica, and nurses, teachers who left Jamaica and they are now in Turks and Caicos working for better wages? They are in Bermuda working for better wages. How do you explain this to Jamaicans in Antigua, Barbuda, where the Eastern Caribbean dollar is way stronger than the Jamaican dollar? So I don't know how, if this was just like a political manipulation, and you saw the applause at the end of it when the Prime Minister stated that Jamaica is doing the best out of every Caribbean. But as someone has been to a lot of Caribbean islands, I don't see that. Honestly, I don't see that. Guys, if you agree with the Prime Minister that Jamaica is doing the best out of every Caribbean, can you just leave something in the comment section to convince me and to convince others that are watching that, yes, Jamaica is really doing the best out of every Caribbean island? But I don't buy it for a second. So guys, let me know if you like this video, and please feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.